We have been using Kodak Pulse Wi-Fi frames for 5 years, so this review will mention the differences between Kodak and Nixplay. We gave a frame to each set of grandparents, and we regularly email new pictures directly to their frames throughout the year. Great way to satisfy grandparents' desire for new pictures without having to print them out and snail mail them new pictures. Kodak's service seems to have ended this year, so when Nixplay went on sale, it was time to give it a try. We purchased 2 of these 12 inches Nixplay frames plus an 8 inches Nixplay Edge. Nixplay prices are virtually identical to what we paid for 10-inch Kodak screens 5 years ago. We figured there must have been a lot of improvements along the way. The reality is that there isn't a lot of improvement, and unfortunately I like the Kodak better overall. Both Nixplay and Kodak let you log on to websites to upload pictures to your frames, or you can email pictures directly to the frames, but their implementations are different. Kodak's version was pretty basic, but it did everything we wanted very easily. When I wanted to add a picture, I would just email the picture to the address assigned to the Kodak frame, and I would put whatever I wanted for a caption as the subject line of the email. Within 10-15 minutes, the new photo would show up on the screen at the grandparents' house with my caption. Caption could be turned on or off through Kodak's touchscreen interface. Nixplay has modeled their service after a photo sharing site, but it frankly doesn't work very well for 90% of people who just want to upload pictures to a frame easily and let the collection of pictures grow. Nixplay's approach is customizable by forcing you to group your pictures into albums and playlists, aka slideshows. The idea is you can choose which playlist you're in the mood for watching. Perhaps that is appealing to someone, but I see no use for it, and it comes at the cost of taking a very simple process and complicating it. It allows you to manage photos and have flexibility in what is displayed, but I personally have no interest in managing photos, and it means photos can and do get lost in the shuffle. General procedure. When you want to upload a bunch of pictures from a computer, you have to first create at least one album and one playlist, then upload the pictures to the album. Next step is to select pictures from that album and copy them into a playlist. You cannot upload the pictures directly to a playlist by design. No idea why. At some point, you need to publish the playlist to your frame. If you later add new pictures to your album, it doesn't update the playlist. After you add new pictures, you need to go into the album, select only the new pictures, and drag them onto the correct playlist. If you try just dragging all the pictures in an album into the playlist, then you would have 2 copies of all pictures, except the new ones. Nixplay allows directly emailing pictures to frames, but again they have complicated it. By default, you have to add friends through the website before they are allowed to email to your frame, and somehow that email has to be tied to the proper playlist, or the pictures will be received and saved, but won't be shown. You can specify which album and playlist you want the emailed picture to go to if you know, and remember, the names of the album and playlist. You do this by adding al equals and pl equals statements into the subject line of the email. But if someone actually does actively manage the frame, sending to an inactive playlist could mean that your picture is never displayed. I don't believe there is a way for adding a caption to a picture you are emailing, which is a shame, as that often was a fun part of emailing pictures to the Kodak. Please comment if anyone knows a way to do that. Nixplay also allows for connection with various online sites like Dropbox, Flickr, Facebook. I'd list them here, but Nixplay doesn't publish a list on their website. Sounds possibly useful, but from user tales from their support site, getting photos to the frame isn't automatic. More management of photos is necessary. Even if it is possible to make the transfer automatic, I'm not sure I really want everything I post to automatically go to the parent's frame. One nice feature that Nixplay did add is a motion sensor so the frame doesn't keep playing to an empty room. Both Nixplay and Kodak allow you to set a time for the frame to turn off at night and back on in the morning. Finally, Nixplay's lack of touchscreen is a little disappointing, but there are positives. Nixplay uses a remote control instead of a touchscreen. It also has buttons on the back of the frame which you can use if you don't hang it on a wall. The touchscreen is nice because it's always there, and the slideshow goes past the picture you want someone to see. You can just touch the screen to get it back. Positives for non-touch screen: brighter, clearer picture, and cost of screen is lower. Also, if you're sitting at a table or on a couch, the remote is convenient, provided it doesn't get lost. Oh, and even though Nixplay seems to rely on Amazon for distribution and payment, the Amazon App Store doesn't have the Nixplay app. That means that you can't use it with Amazon Fire tablets or phones. Not a huge loss. The Android app on a Samsung phone sites allow you to upload pictures with captions, but it is very basic. You can still email pictures from your device if everything is set up right, but you can't add captions. Basically, Nixplay is a nice frame hampered by an overly ambitious and complicated interface. It is workable, but here is no reason a Wi-Fi frame should be this complex. At the very least, they should have a grandparents mode enabled by default, which would allow a simple way to have a frame that people far away could add pictures to, without having to have anyone manage it, and without the multiple steps required to add pictures through the website. Kodak's simple method would be a good example for them to follow. If you find this review helpful, please vote for it. I've spent way more time on it than I should have, and I hope someone benefits from it.